Good morning and welcome to another episode of Josh and Pat. I'm Joshua Klein, joined by Patrick Cassett. And for those of you who were confused yesterday, welcome to the club. The Pro Bowl, turns out, was just a flag football game. Many Americans all across America turned the TV on, and at around 4 o'clock, they saw what was a flag football game, preceded by some skill competitions, preceded by another flag football game. Now, if you were me, you were wondering, okay, this is great. This is fun. This is exciting. What time does the Pro Bowl actually start? It had started. Turns out the Pro Bowl is just a flag football game, and it will likely be a flag football game moving forward. And Patrick, how'd you think it went? Did you think the Pro Bowl was better, worse? What are we feeling?
Josh, I boycotted it. I didn't watch a single second of the Pro Bowl yesterday.
No kidding. Why not?
I have no interest in watching a flag football game.
Now, here's what I'll say, Patrick. Surprising, it was an entertaining flag football game. For a flag football game. Like, if there ever was a flag football game that I would want to watch, it was this one. It was. They're very good at football. Therefore, they are very good at flag football.
Good point.
Here's what I'll
Good
say,
point.
Patrick. It was a better flag football game than it would have been a regular football game.
Right. But here's my thing, Josh, is I didn't watch the regular football game in the Pro Bowl anyway because it was bad to watch, right? If I ever watched it, it was because I had nothing else to do. I give the NFL props for trying something new. It needed to be replaced. Good for them. I will say the highlights that I saw of the catch competition, like that looked pretty cool.
Oh, you thought they were cool? I thought that was the lamest part.
As a guy that just saw the clips, I mean, the clip looked cool.
I don't know. I like the trampoline was just a little baby trampoline, just jumping onto a mat. Maybe we needed like the close-up cam, and I didn't see that angle. You know, because sometimes we got the broadcast shot, then we got some guy on the sideline doing the cool stuff. Like
Right.
I might have got the wrong camera angle. It seemed pretty lame. There were parts of it that I liked. There were parts of it I was like, this could be better. Halftime show, Patrick, was the most awkward thing I've ever seen in my life.
Who was it, Josh?
It was Ray Shremmerd. Ray Shremmerd. However you say that. I think they sing Black Beatles in the city. Money. Yeah. But they were out there going, yeah, let's go to Las Vegas. And it's just like the people in the mosh pit are just like standing there, not even moving at all. And the people are moving. There's like, you know, like 16-year-old like white kids going with their phone out, and it's just like, it was the most awkward thing I've ever seen in my life. Because people are like, they couldn't find like 300 people in that stadium who like, you know, they could put there and actually get into it. It was the most awkward thing I've ever seen in my life.
I'll put it like this: when these things happen, where you bring in like a halftime show and then you have to like act like people are there to watch the show, it normally is awkward. So now looking back on it, I give props to the people they find for the Super Bowl, because everybody for the halftime show of the Super Bowl looks like they're into it, like they're there. You know?
Yeah.
So
I know. Do they bring in people separately? Like, do they have like a bus like outside the stadium of like halftime show? You know, like, can you buy a separate ticket for the halftime show than the Super Bowl?
I think so, because I don't think you're leaving your seat at the Super Bowl.
It makes complete sense. So, do those people ever try to like, you know, like that kind of sucks if you buy the ticket for just the halftime show, and then all of a sudden it's like halftime show is over, and you're like, oh, okay, got to go. And by the way, how are you watching the game? Like, you have to be a non-football fan, because
I don't think you are a football fan if you get if you're in the halftime show,
because you got to go from the halftime show to what, like a bar, or like you got to pull it up on your phone, like, and there's a lot of transition period. You're definitely missing like a quarter.
Yeah, but you got to think like after the halftime show is done, you could probably sneak off and like find yourself somewhere into the stadium.
You would think, but I have to imagine that security. I think that people in the past, I mean, as long as they've been doing this, they know. They know. They have it figured
Yeah,
out.
but Josh, you never know. Maybe you jammed a finger, stubbed a toe or something. You get checked out by medical. Next thing you know, you're released.
There's a chance of that. What was interesting about the Pro Bowl is some would say the Pro Bowl primetime game, Kirk Cousins actually clutches up, wins it for the NFC.
Josh, what if I told you it was a start time of 1 o'clock in Las Vegas?
Well, I guess that changes everything, huh? I was about to make a whole argument about Pro Bowl, it was prime time, and the Kirk Cousins gets the end in victory formation, which Peyton Manning was not a fan of. Peyton Manning says it's against the rules. I don't know the rules of flag football like that. Peyton apparently does, though. I appreciate how into it Peyton Manning got. Like, he seems like he went all in, invested in making sure that this flag football team was amazing.
Which is awesome.
And
but
I appreciate
Josh, actually,
that.
I was wrong. I apologize. I was wrong. It actually started at noon.
So not 1 p.m. start time.
Yeah.
Okay. Peyton Manning's son, Marshall Manning. Probably
Shout
the
out Marshall, man.
sickest name of all time for a Manning. The Mannings just know how to name kids. It has to put so much pressure on the next generation of naming children, because they're slowly just checking off the sweetest names. Like Arch. Like, it's just a sick name because Archie. Like, is his name just Arch, or is it just Archie and it's short for? They call him Arch.
That's a great question. I would imagine it's got to be Archie. Then he goes by Arch.
Okay, well, that makes a lot of sense. But then Marshall Manning throws just a dime to Justin Jefferson. Now, internet know-it-alls quickly pointed out it wasn't a dime. It actually wasn't very good. Look at the position. And then some people were commenting, getting really into it. Well, if you knew anything about football, you would know that the route that Jefferson was running, he actually cut it 3 yards short so he could try to make a spectacular catch. And if he had not, it would have been over right shoulder, exactly where it needs to be. So was it a great catch? Or was it a great throw? Was it a terrible throw? I think it was a great throw. And I think that kid's, he's going to have the most pressure of any kid ever. Like, he already probably has the pressure, but if Arch Manning is in the league by the time he's getting into college, it's like, okay, well, every single Manning has gone to the well, I guess every single Manning has at this point gone to the Super Bowl. Yeah.
Josh, yes.
And every single Manning would have gone to the NFL except for Cooper, who injuries probably would have gone.
They say he was the best.
You say he was best. So really, if you think about it, this kid, I do feel bad for him.
Well, I want to make a prediction right here, Josh. The year right now is 2023. Okay. Marshall Manning will be 22 in 11 years. That makes it 2034.
Oh, I'll be 34.
Justin Jefferson will be 34 years old. So we're going to play this clip back in 11 years of Marshall throwing to Justin Jefferson when he actually throws a touchdown to Justin Jefferson in the NFL.
Here's a good sports show question. Who has a better career, Marshall Manning or Justin Jefferson?
Yeah,
when it's all said and done.
Josh, I'm gonna say it's probably gonna be Marshall because I think the rules are gonna be more in favor of the offense in 11 years from now. So I'm gonna put your bets down right now. I'm taking Marshall.
Yeah, I think Marshall. I think if you look at what Marshall's done versus what Jefferson's done, yes, Jefferson's good, great. He's not even close to being the number one receiver in Minnesota history. Not even close to the NFL. So, and Marshall Manning, we hit right now. It's his ceiling. I don't think we even know where it's close.
Doesn't exist. The ceiling doesn't exist because when we look at him, we try to. Justin Jefferson's 23. Marshall Manning's 11. I mean, Marshall
Manning is 11 years old and he's already throwing passes to NFL wide receivers
on an NFL field. So.
That tells me all I need to know. Jalen Ramsey, for a moment, forgot that he was playing flag. He actually tackled a dude.
Which was kind of refreshing to see.
It was refreshing to see. And when I saw it, I went, man, imagine this. What if you could tackle and it was legal every single play? And I was like, how sweet would that be if that existed, we could watch. And then I go,
Right.
wait a second. That's just regular football.
That's what the Pro Bowl's been for years.
Well, tackling's been illegal in the Pro Bowl for quite some time. So you have to go all the way back. Here's what I say. I say the Pro Bowl is we bring in fans. Fans can play in the Pro Bowl. And I don't know where I was going with that because I just feel like I feel like I deserve to be playing the Pro Bowl. That's all I'm saying.
It's the Klein curse. You want to line up.
I need to line up against somebody. Anyway, moving on.
The fan with the most clicks on TikTok.
TikTok's getting banned though, potentially.
Haven't we said that for like 3 years now?
That's what they say. I heard that a new version of TikTok was in the balloon, and it was even cooler.
Really?
Yeah. Breaking news coming from the Premier League. Manchester City is facing points deduction or expulsion after breaking the fair play rules. What is it?
Fair play rules.
Fair play rules. Fair financial play. The financial fair play rules. There
that
it is.
Sounded. Yeah, that
sounds pretty like. That's definitely it. About 100 times since 2009. Basically, they were either hiding income that was coming in or hiding how much they were paying people. And we definitely know it was they were hiding how much they were paying their manager. They've won 3 Premier League titles since 2009. Now, some would say, well, that's just because they were cheating and basically going. And for context, there is no salary cap in the Premier League, right?
Great.
You can pay players whatever, as long as you are making that much money. Right. And I guess that they just had access to some sort of infinite pool of money, and they were using that. And turns out it works.
Well, I mean, according to Manchester City, they are just absolutely shocked by these allegations. They cannot believe it. 2009 and 2018, breaking the rules 100 different times. Are you kidding me? They put out a statement. They said Manchester City FC is surprised by the issuing of these alleged breaches of the Premier League rules, particularly given the extensive engagement and vast amount of materials that the EPL has been provided with. I think that's the issue. Is I think they're saying what you provided is actually wrong. But I'm not an expert here.
We did nothing wrong. We misinterpreted the rules.
I didn't understand. We thought we were right.
Are you sure that we can't? Oh, we can't. I'm sorry. We can't do that. I didn't realize that was a thing that we couldn't do. That's on me. Hey, next time. There's not going to be next time. You're out of the league. Well, guess what?
Okay.
Here's the thing though. This is the perfect opportunity. In Premier League, the Premier League knows this. They know that they can't kick Manchester City out.
Not at all.
The second they do that, guess what happens? The Super League is being formed. We're taking this all the way back to 2020, 2019. The Super League is coming if you kick them out. Manchester City's going to go, and they're going to be like, well, guess what? Now we're not bound to anything. We can take all the money we want. And they're going to go, and they're going to just take the top teams, form a Super League. They're going to get all the best players. They're going to make the coolest rules ever. And it's probably going to be the end of soccer as we know it. And guess what, soccer fans? We are more than happy to welcome you to watch football.
We are. Because America 2026 World Cup, we know Golden Generation's coming home. But what I will say is how big of a day was this for Sky Sports News? I mean,
huge.
Breaking news like what? Right around noon. It was like Manchester City on a Monday. I mean, this is like, could it be a bigger story for them?
That's crazy because it is like not 7 a.m. there.
Right.
And it's actually later than here. I always get confused sometimes. And sometimes I'm thinking like it's like 4 in the morning. That's not. It's not. It would go the other way.
Well, right, because then it's also like you got to factor in like daylight savings. Like, do they have
Oh, I'm sure whatever Patrick was saying was really insightful there. I think it's all me. I think my Wi-Fi is a problem. So I'll take responsibility for that. Oh, what's up? Welcome back, Patrick. So yeah, Patrick, I think this is a great story. I think is Manchester as a Manchester City fan, are they being mistreated? Yeah, I do. I don't
well,
think they've done anything
shout out to
wrong.
City fan, their manager, his name,
Pep.
right? I believe he said that he would step down as coach because if the allegations were true and Manchester City was lying to him.
Hmm. Well, I feel like that there's no way that he didn't know. Like,
Right, because wasn't one of the allegations that he received like extra money under the
yeah, it's
table?
like he's like, I'm sure they're doing everything legit, and then all of a sudden, like he checks his bank account and he's like $50 million in there, and he's like, "Yep, that's what they pay me."
Yeah, that's what they. No, no, no. Like in his head, there's a world where Pep thought he was like, "Dang, I've really done that good of a year this year. Like that was a
Like,
great
man,
bonus they gave me. Like
like
I've
that's
done that
good.
good of a job."
Like that's awesome. Hey, look at me go. Like, or maybe he's just like really misinterpret. He needs to get on top of his finances if he did not know what was going on. I'd argue that he needs to go to the Dave Klein School of tracking your income and expenses.
I would argue Google Sheets is free. Just
Yeah,
hop on there. Maybe make a nice little page.
I think he could. Or I mean, but hey, maybe he's not in the money world. He's in there to coach football. So he's not really invested in
Josh, I'd argue he
what's
doesn't even
happening.
do it for the money. He's in love with the game.
Yeah, because and this was actually, you know, this was Manchester City just trying to be generous. He didn't even want the extra money.
He doesn't need it. He doesn't want it. He actually, I heard that he was going to pledge all of it to charity.
I heard that he tried to work for free. And they said, well, rules, we can't do that because, and the tax write-offs and then he's just like, well, if you have to pay me something, just, you guys decide whatever you think is fair. Um, but yeah, that's tough. That's a tough look for the Premier League. Kind of tarnishes the integrity of their sport. And I'm not gonna lie, is it the greatest sport in the world if it's pay to win?
Josh, I mean, can it even possibly be the greatest sport in the world if we can't understand how to do finances correctly here? I mean, we can't have these sort of allegations in the best league in the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
The trajectory of the sport
Never.
has forever been changed.
I know. Ever since the Queen died, shame.
Been tough over there.
Kyrie Irving traded from the Nets to the Mavericks. Mark Cuban gets a guy. Everyone's saying that this was rated as a D plus move by the Mavericks, and people are saying immediately that that's the most D that Dallas has shown in a long time. But the Lakers are salty. There's no doubt the Lakers are upset. LeBron is throwing a fit in the locker room. He's going to Jeannie and he's saying, "Hey, what the heck?
Well, you saw what he tweeted, right?
What'd he say?
Maybe it's me.
I think yeah.
Yeah.
Newsflash. That's great
Probably.
observation.
Yeah.
Yeah, it probably is you. I bet you Steph Curry, if he wanted Kyrie, he would have got Kyrie.
Hey, you know what? Maybe the Lakers just trade for Kevin Durant. Let's reunite him and Russell Westbrook.
Oh my goodness. And I'm sure James Harden's going to be looking for a job pretty soon.
Right, because it's been almost a year since he's gotten to Philly, so his time's
It's
probably.
he's almost there. Are we going to reunite this team?
Yeah, I think we get
Can
James
you
Harden out
imagine?
to the
Can you
Lakers.
imagine
Right.
if you ever? Can you imagine if there was a team with James Harden, Russell Westbrook, and Kevin Durant? I mean, they would win so many championships, right?
I mean, you got to think. I mean, even if they don't win that many championships, I think they'd probably make the finals like at least a half dozen times, Josh.
Oh my gosh, like that team would be unstoppable if you had those three players on the same team. Oh, that'd be crazy. But it is. People are saying Lakers take another L. Mavs are basically like, hey, we're gonna give Luka some help, and if we don't win right now, there may be some issues down the road.
Josh, I like the trade. I like what the Dallas Mavericks did because you are going to get a Kyrie Irving that is ready to win, ready to
Ready.
play, right? Because you
Oh, he's
only get him
been
for half
ready.
a season. You only get him for half a season, okay? And what the roster was in Dallas, it was not going to win you a finals,
Yeah.
okay? You weren't going to win
Yeah.
the finals. So take the chance.
Take it.
Theoretically, all you do is you give up players in exchange and you give up a 2029 first round pick. Josh, that's forever from now. Like that's not
Yeah.
even that's never coming.
That
2029 is
never happened.
never
Yeah, you're
never
right.
happening. Right. So I love the trade for Dallas because I think it makes them somewhat contenders. Like,
I
because
do.
at some point you can go, Kyrie can put the game on their back.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I
Well,
like it for Dallas.
and I'd argue that personality fit. Like when you think of Kyrie Irving, you don't think of a New York guy. Because I feel like him and the Dallas and the Texas community could probably maybe bond. Kyrie's like, hey, you know what? I do believe the Earth may be flat. And
Also,
Texas
didn't want to
guy
get the vaccine.
and the Texans and didn't want to get the vaccine. Texas guys are like, right there with you, brother. You know, like that's match made in heaven.
I mean, we should have seen this coming from a mile away.
It's like he's their new favorite player. He's their king, which is just I mean, good for Dallas. Good for Dallas. Last night on ESPN Plus and ESPN, I think just in general, they debuted the film, the 30 for 30 Bullies of Baltimore. And I'll tell you what, Patrick, it was electric. It was all about the 2000 Ravens defense. We're going to hit you harder than you've ever been hit and make you tap out of games defense. And I'll tell you what, having never really experienced football from that era, it was awesome. Granted, after watching it for about 30 seconds, it made me immediately go, that makes sense why the people who played in that era cannot speak and are actually just completely not able to function. Like they are just, I mean, helmet, like they taught helmet to helmet, like, hey, if you're gonna hit somebody, you're gonna lower this part and ram it into that part.
There's a reason why the term hospital passes came to fruition. I mean, you just wouldn't throw the ball over the middle, or else Ray Lewis would come and hit you. Whoever was in the middle of the field. So,
dude, well, it was electric, Patrick. And I'll tell you what, it made me love some characters, made me miss Goose. It made me kind of sad though, because as a Ravens fan, I went, this defense was awesome. Now, I'm sure it was a very stressful season considering that the offense had some liabilities at times. But it just made me go, man, I wish we were in the Super Bowl right now. And I think it's a realization that a lot of fans get this time of year. The realization like, oh, wait, we're not in the Super Bowl. Our season's over. And it's making me relive that Cincinnati game all over again. It's making me go, why couldn't we have the Cinderella story?
that one's going to sting for a while.
And you know what? And that's tough. But I'll tell you what, man. Ray Lewis didn't do it. And that's what after watching that, I can firmly say, didn't do it. And a lot of people are going to stand on this platform today and try to revisit that and say he did. I don't think he did. And that's unbiased.
I'm curious how well this documentary gets received outside the Baltimore community. because I haven't watched it yet. What was it? 90 minutes, Josh?
It was
Hour and a half?
It was good length, but it was
How about this?
awesome.
I will pledge this. I will
Okay.
pledge to pay for an ESPN Plus membership today.
Hey
Okay.
Patrick, guess what? Just sign into our account.
I don't think Disney wants to hear that. I don't
Oh,
think Disney wants to hear that.
Oh, hey, password sharing.
How about
Right.
this? Right, because we know Netflix is cracking down on the password sharing. Hey, Disney, I'm gonna buy my own account. Okay. And I pledge I will watch it today. How about that? That's what I was.
No, Patrick, it's a good watch. It's a really good watch. It is. I really enjoyed it, and maybe that's just because I'm a Ravens fan, but I thought it was good. NASCAR is back. This is the part of the show that everyone's been waiting for. We haven't been
Yes.
able to talk about NASCAR since pre-conception of the show, and it was exciting. It was in the Coliseum, not the Coliseum, the original Coliseum,
Right.
new Coliseum.
The new one, the 100-year one.
Yeah, the new one. And let me tell you, if you weren't a NASCAR fan, then I don't know how you could watch them going 25 miles an hour around that quarter track and go, man, this is exciting. I don't know how you couldn't do that.
There was way too many cars on the track. The track's way too small to have that many cars.
Everyone knows that the most exciting thing about NASCAR is when they go to the really short tracks that you can only go, 35 miles. Like my minivan could potentially have done that. But it was exciting racing. It was like for people who appreciate racing, it was good racing. Bubba Wallace and Austin Dillon kind of get into it. They have some aggressive racing there. Austin Dillon ends up dumping Bubba. Bubba sits in the car. Austin Dillon comes back around. Bubba rams into him. Then, following the race, Bubba doesn't even get out of his car. He just sits there slurping his whatever is in that thing. And he was polarizing. Some fans were like, yeah, Bubba deserves to be ticked. He's gonna I hope he dumps Austin Dillon next week. I hope he, and then some people were like, yeah, serves Bubba right. I hope he never gets out that car. I hope that car ships off and goes to wherever he was born because he don't belong in NASCAR. And then there's some people just in the middle like, I think Bubba is a jerk kind of but that's racing. So like like it's kind of like there's two very opposite sides.
You should have put the cowboy hat on for that bit.
Oh yeah, this is NASCAR. We gotta get the cowboy hat on. Oh wait. Hold up.
Look, I'll say this, Josh. I will say this. Bubba Wallace, I think he did have a little bit of a right to be mad because he got completely dumped even before the corner, basically. That being said, it is an exhibition race. Like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like,
and also fun. Yeah, exactly. And to Austin Dillon's, I guess, defense, Bubba was just like, I mean, they were going at each other like for a while there, it's like it's aggressive racing. Sometimes aggressive racing manifests in that. Now, yeah, Bubba has the right to be ticked. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. That's just how it goes. But it's also like, it's in life, like how you handle being ticked is it's just different. Like the him sitting in the car just like sulking, that's like not, I don't think that's cool. I think if it would have been cooler if he actually was mad, don't hit him with your car. Wait till he gets out of his car and you get out of your car and you handle it like a man.
Let me ask you, Josh, what was more awkward, the Ray Strumman concert or the Wiz Khalifa concert at NASCAR?
I don't know, man. That's a tough one. I don't know.
I thought the Wiz concert, like, I think what they did is they brought in just a bunch of like college kids from LA. So like they were just showing them beside Wiz Khalifa. So they were
Yeah.
like, yeah, having a good time. Now, the rest of the fans that were like there to watch NASCAR, I don't know. Look, I loved it. Bring Wiz, baby.
Here's the thing about Wiz that I get confused about. Like his name is like synonymous with taking a pee. You know, like
That's not what I think of when I think of
take a whiz.
Wiz.
Like you think of like slang for wizard?
No, I think of weed.
Like you think it's like whiz.
Like
Harry
Wiz.
Potter.
Like
do you
if you
think
say, hey, oh yeah, Wiz is over there, I'm gonna be like, oh, Khalifa?
See, if I think of whiz, I think of gotta go take a leak. Like imagine
Okay,
if like what if my rapper name was like Leak Khalifa. Like, you know? It's the same thing. It's the same thing,
Comes from the
Patrick.
guy that doesn't listen to music.
I don't, but by the way, Grammys last night, Harry Styles, Album of the Year, Taylor Swift, Artist of the Year. People are saying Beyonce was robbed. Beyonce fans are always going to say Beyonce was robbed, though.
Doesn't Beyonce have the most Grammys ever? Like, I do not want to hear how she was robbed.
And yeah, it is very confusing. And listen, Taylor Swift, she literally destroyed, like she broke the internet. Quite literally broke it. Like not saying like that is like a metaphorical term. Like literally, like the internet was broken, partially because of her.
It was all I'm gonna say is last night was a bad night to be Rich Paul.
Is Grammys? Do we wear a cowboy hat for Grammys conversation?
Nah, take it off.
Okay, yeah. My hair's all messed up.
Josh.
But Harry Styles, Album of the Year. And you know, some people are saying he deserved it. Some people are saying that they only know one song on it. That's me. I'm saying that as it was.
Josh, I do want to say
on
this.
The phone. Something on the phone.
Josh, it was a bad night to be Rich Paul last night.
Who's Rich Paul?
LeBron James' best friend, the agent.
Oh, yeah. Why?
Well, he dates Adele.
So right. Adele got snubbed, and then Lakers don't get
Kyrie? No. Adele has never met The Rock. So
what?
Trevor Noah brings The Rock out, and Adele just goes crazy. And it's like, who would you like? What is Rich Paul supposed to do?
I don't know. What?
He just has to sit there. Yes, like The Rock is The Rock, and Rich Paul has to sit there while he could just absolutely sweep his girl off his feet.
Oh wait, Adele and Rich are together?
You didn't know this?
Wow.
I literally at the beginning of this conversation I said Rich is dating Adele.
Well, I guess I just like in my brain
I was completely zoned out.
I was still trying to like figure out who Rich was.
Rich Paul.
Wow.
Not Chris Paul.
Rich Paul. Rich Paul. Chris's father?
Yes, Rich Paul is Chris's father.
Okay.
And yeah.
Okay. And so any relation to Candace Parker, other CP3?
Not that I'm aware. I heard that they're actually cousins, but I don't know.
That's why she's allowed to use it. Makes sense. Well, that's a show, Patrick. That's a full morning. We got Pro Bowl, Premier League, Kyrie's traded, Bullies of Baltimore, the Clash.
There's no other show that will cover this much ground in this short of a time.
And make it seem like we've been talking for 4 hours.
Right. Because NASCAR, Pro Bowl, Grammys. But I do want to say, everyone that was performing yesterday that wasn't at the Grammys ratted themselves out for not being nominated for a Grammy.
Yeah, that's a great point. But you kind of have to. It's like you got to get on the Grammys good side for next year.
Well, right. But it's also like you get broken up with, right? And you and your girlfriend or boyfriend had a scheduled future engagement. Yeah. Like that night, you're not just going to sit at home alone. Like you're going to go do something and make it be known that you're doing something.
Fair. Yeah, it's interesting, Patrick. This show though, I feel like we're the one of the few shows who can somehow take like a 35-minute conversation, and it's like if you made it to the end, you're just like, man, have I been listening to these guys talk for like 6 hours?
And it's like,
Which
and then you're like, oh man, I can't listen to these guys until Friday again. And it's like, okay,
yeah.
well, you're in luck.
Well, guess what? That's how the schedule of the show. But yeah, I think if you made it to the end, make sure you guys DM us. We'll get you a mug. One day, Patrick, we're gonna know we made it, and it might not be this year. It might not be next year. It
No, no,
might
no, no,
be
no, 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 no. I will make a prediction. It will be this year. Someone DMs us this year.
somebody DM'd me the other day. They're like, "Hey, where's my mug?" And I was like, "Why are you saying that?" He's like, "Because you promised me like for your 100-day special that I would get a mug." And I was like,
so
"Oh yeah, that's a great point." So
you got the mug text, but it was for a different thing.
it's for a different time. I promised a mug. Yeah.
And the fact that he's sitting there, this kid, was it a guy or girl?
Guy.
He's sitting here 6 months later, and he's like, "Where's my mug?" Like, it's important to him.
I know.
You should sign it. You should autograph it.
I will. He'll get one eventually. Anyway, guys, make sure you have a wonderful morning. Make sure you guys go to picksandpancakes.com, read what's happening over there, and make sure you guys subscribe to us. Give us 5 stars on every platform that you are listening this to. And I think that's it. One day I'm going to learn how to close a podcast better, but we'll get there. We'll get there, guys. Anyway, you have a wonderful day, Patrick. A peace.